This is one of the articles that came up that I was going to cover. And, well, looks like there's a set of trucks sitting right there that, departed from the rail car that they were on. And, well, that's absolutely normal. That's what's supposed to happen. So, no conspiracy there. Nobody went and sabotaged rail cars. Nope. And yes, I know it's not pronounced sabotaged. I like to have fun with words like fragile, for instance. That French word for don't break it. Let's see. Yeah, the reason why the show even started, because this was the area, and there it is, right there. A set of trucks that, came off of the rail car like they're supposed to. And I'm sure probably a big reason for that is because of the weight, the mass involved. And it's probably smarter for the rail car to separate itself from those trucks, because those trucks continuing to go through the air or wherever they continue to go are going to cause a hell of a lot of damage with that much mass, that much density moving with that much force. Going to cause a lot of damage. So it would make sense to me from an engineering standpoint, from a safety standpoint, to allow the rail cars to separate from those heavy-ass trucks, so that way, you're not causing more of an issue than what you have to cause. You know what I'm saying? Your trucks can go on down the track or whatever, go flipping off or whatever, but while they're going and doing that nonsense, what they're not doing is tearing up cars. So I'm sure that's the idea behind that. That just from an engineering standpoint and from a safety standpoint, that makes sense. Now, moreover to this article here, oh yeah, I know you're not in a competition with me, brother. I know. It's all good, man. I'm not in anything I do is not in a competition. I don't compete. That's something. I mean, I won't say I never compete. There's stupid little competitions I might make. I might compete with somebody in flight sim, compete to do a hard landing or some silly stuff like that. But I never get in any kind of real competition, especially in life, because that's what they want us to do. That's what they want us to do. And I refuse. I'm just here. I'm not here to compete. I'm just here. So, anyway. So apparently, there's a probe, which, as you can see by the headline, is apparently rare, into a series of derailments from Norfolk Southern. I wanted to make sure I got the right one. Of course, they were the one that was the ones that had the accident in East Palestine. There was a couple other incidents too, and there were a couple of deaths involved in this. And where it's since December 2021. What it says: number and significance of recent Norfolk Southern accidents, which include 3 employee deaths and 3 major train derailments since December 2021. So let me unpack that by itself for a moment here. December 2021. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're setting it just over 2 years from that date, if I'm not mistaken. So just over 2 years' time. 3 major accidents in just over 2 years' time. But yet, I gave you the math right in the title of the show. On average, there's roughly a little over 4 train derailments a day. So if there's just over 4 train derailments a day, and Norfolk Southern has only had 3 major accidents in the last 2 years? I don't know. Suddenly I'm not quite as concerned as what I was when everybody was trying to fearmonger it. I was never concerned with it. Why? Because I know not to listen to them. I know to get my ass on Google and look up the information myself. Why? Because when you've done this, and I don't necessarily mean news, but when you've done research for as long as what I've done research, you realize there are no shortcuts. There is no laziness. You have to do the walking. Plain and simple. But I have, I've seen a lot worse track records, no pun intended, than that. 3 in just over 2 years. That's not bad. Now, I'm not downplaying the loss of the employees or anything like that. Not at all. I'm just saying we need to be realistic here. We need to stop talking about major conspiracy. We need to stop talking. Do you know what the problem is in most of these accidents? It's because the infrastructure has been neglected. Plain and simple. Because the tracks are not in the best of shape anymore. And repairs are done half-ass a lot of times when they're done. They're done as absolutely cheap as possible because, I mean, come on, that's the name of the game anymore. So this is what you get. When you have failing infrastructure, you are going to have failing systems that is around that infrastructure. It doesn't matter whether it's trains like this. It doesn't matter whether it's subway systems. It don't matter whether it's city buses. If the infrastructure is neglected, you're going to have issues. That is the big conspiracy behind all the train derailments. I'm not saying that there aren't nefarious individuals that do nefarious things to cause trains to derail, and because there always has been. That's just been a thing. I didn't. Well, maybe it's not any different in the city. I don't know, but I've never grown up in the city or anything like that. I've never done this, and I'm being honest. I've never done this, but I heard about it numerous times as a kid about putting a penny on the railroad track. Now, I'd never done it, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that as the story went or whatever, that would cause the train to derail. I think that's what I was told anyway. But I'd heard other crazy things too, and I don't remember even where I heard them from, but I could have heard stuff. Like I said, my dad would have some, I don't know why my dad told me some stuff we talked about, but I know I had heard somewhere that people used to put little like 22 shells and stuff like that on the railroad tracks, and train would go by and run over it. But there's always been people that's done things that's tried to cause trains to derail or whatever. And while I could totally understand there be an increase in likelihood that the reasoning behind people doing that type of stuff could be, the eco-terrorism bullshit, but we haven't gotten there yet. Most of this stuff is, these derailments and stuff, is just caused from failing infrastructure. Plain and simple. A lot of times, when you see derailments like this, the derailments are caused at a crossing. And a lot of times the reason is because something gets down into the track, in between the crossing and the track. And the train hops over that because it can't ride down in its groove. Hops over that, and that's where the problems start. Could that be done could somebody do something like that? Absolutely, somebody could put something down in there on purpose to cause the train to derail. But you could have just weird, stupid things happen. Some hard, smaller piece of steel or something falling off a vehicle and getting down in there. I don't know offhand. I'm sure there's something that could do it, that could fall off a vehicle. But any number of things, even a simple rock. I mean, depending on what it's made out of, the rock itself, what it's made out of. I mean, a number of factors. But a lot of times when trains derail, they do so at crossings, and they do so because there's something jammed in there that causes it to jump up off the track. Kind of like that video that Pinball was showing. Again, I'm not saying whether or not whatever object was down in there, I'm not saying whether or not that something was nefariously put there or if something just unfortunately got in there. But if you look into this stuff, folks, I mean, and the reason why I'm talking about this isn't necessarily, it's not just about Pinball's bullshit ideals, but it's about the fact that there are so many people out there right now fear-mongering train derailments. And it's just Wednesday. I mean, that's my point. It's just Wednesday. We have a little over 4 of them a day. We could go on and never run out of content if we just covered train derailments every frickin' day. Unreal. It is unreal. And it makes no sense to me. And I don't understand what value. If somebody could tell me what value that brings, people just going on and on and on about conspiracies, about this type of stuff, and does that prepare you anymore for anything? Or is there elements of what individuals say when they misinform and mislead about this stuff? Are there elements about what they say that could be agenda-sized? Is there anything, particular agenda that they could be pushing? That's probably where folks need to look. That's where folks probably need to look. That's probably the motivation for the misinformation. Because we have an agenda to push. Folks really need to use discernment with that. That literally means that somebody is willing to lie or mislead you in order to make something appear that it's not. For their benefit, whatever benefit that may be. I don't know about you, but when I catch people doing that, I tend to walk the other way. I don't get it. I don't get YouTube. I do not get YouTube at all. It's like backwards. People love the liars, and I'm not saying everyone, but go take a look around. The crazier, the more screwed up in the head you are, the more people you'll have follow you. If you're just real, if you're just honest, you get channels like mine. Not here to wow you, not here to impress you, not here to make money. I mean, it helps pay bills, it helps buy things. I'm not going to turn away from making something, but that's not my motivation for being here. I have no agenda. I have no political party that I want you to vote for. I don't. Right? I just want you to be armed with the proper knowledge. That's it. The proper knowledge. I don't even want to direct you onto what you should think about that knowledge. Now, I won't say my opinion about it, but I don't want to direct anybody that they have to think about it the same way I do, because that's not how the world goes around. And I certainly can't learn anything new if everybody else in the world thought like me. So I don't want everybody to think like me, because I'm damn sure not done learning.